Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer. I'm Peter Martin, absolutely delighted to have your company here on the programme tonight. Alan Ruff and Barry Ferguson are with me in the studio, and no surprise, there's a bit to talk about. Yeah, lots to get our teeth into. You can give us your view on the emerging stories today on Twitter at PLZ Soccer, Facebook.com/PLZ Soccer, and also on our YouTube channel as well. And to take us through the day, the man of the moment is also our teaser question. Seems like such a long time ago when Kyle Lafferty signed for Rangers. It must have been a long time ago. He had a mullet there, Ruffy. Obviously modelled himself on you all those years ago, but he's signed. So let's get the immediate reaction on this one. Barry Ferguson, are you excited and delighted that he's signed?
Yep, I think he'll be a good addition to the Rangers squad. I thought last season for Hearts he was very good, scored a lot of goals. He looked back to the Kyle Lafferty that I knew when he first came to Rangers. I know he was a bit raw at that stage, but he's had a few indifferent moves, he's not really settled, but I thought last year for Hearts he was excellent. And I think whatever price, maybe it's £300,000, I'm not too sure. I think it's a good deal for both Rangers and Hearts.
Ruffy?
Yeah, I think he's always got all the experience in the world, club football and international football. I think he was hitting the head of highlights with Ireland rather than the clubs that he was playing with. But yeah, I think he's a good addition. He's a good squad member. It'll be interesting to see where he actually plays him in the side. We know he can score goals. We saw a good goal last week. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad one, you know, but we'll have to wait and see where he's going to be playing.
Yeah, well, I don't think too many Rangers fans will need reminding about what he can do, but here's a little insight for the neutrals that watch the show. Well, on the pitch, I think a number of Rangers fans will be happy. I just wonder, do you think there'll be a number of Rangers fans who look back at the way he left the club and might look at that with a certain amount of disdain, or will they just put that to bed and think, no, it's what you do now? Yeah,
I would like to think they put it to bed, but there might be a small percentage of fans that won't forget he'd left when Rangers went into administration. But I would like to think that the vast majority of Rangers fans will just, as you say, put it to bed, and then just hopefully that he comes to Rangers and produces what he done for Hearts last season.
Would you throw him straight in? He's had a word with Steven Gerrard, he's been training with them. Would you throw him straight in against the Russians, Ufa?
Well, I think that would be an ideal game to get the fans on his side. You know, we don't think this team are particularly up too much, you know, so I think the sooner he gets in the team, the sooner he starts scoring goals, that kind of thing that we're talking about gets dismissed right away. You know, obviously if he goes in and doesn't score goals, some fans do tend to bring these kind of things up, but let's hope that's not the case. I'm sure if they throw him in, he will score goals, particularly against that team.
Now, I think domestically, that's where a lot of Rangers fans will get excited, Barry, because although the game against the Russians is one thing, it suddenly gives a double-edged sword to the attack, that two-pronged attack now where you've got the height, the threat from set pieces, but you've got Morelos on the deck as well.
Yeah, it was the one area that I thought needed strength, and there's a lot of competition at Rangers, the amount of signings that Steven Gerrard's made. I thought we're a bit light up top, but with Kyle Lafferty come in, it adds that bit of competition, and if you want to be successful, Peter, you've got to have competition in your squad.
Yeah, and over and above that, he did mention today at the press conference that he would like to add, maybe another defender to the squad before that window closes. Obviously, I want to get your thoughts on Jamie Murphy, but are you thinking anything else other than a defender?
Yeah, I still thought we were short of 3 players, as I mentioned a few weeks back. Obviously, we've got Kyle Lafferty in, a centre back. I think you're worried in case Golson or Katic get maybe a suspension or an injury. I know young McCrory can go in there play, but I think you still need a bit of experience. And I think one more midfielder. As you said, Koulibaly's been injured. So I think I would say another midfielder and another centre back, and Rangers will be happy.
Yeah, Jamie Murphy out for the rest of the season, Ruffy. A blow for him. Listen, some people have said in trying to defend the AstroTurf, you can get injured. You can get a cruciate knee ligament injury on grass. But I think we're dealing with percentages here on this. This is a huge blow to Rangers.
Forget Rangers and the player. It's more to a blow to the player. I've never had a serious injury when I played, but seemingly the cruciate ligament one is the one that... you're sort of there. It's a whole year thing, it's a whole year, and it's not. It tests the mentality of the player, being injured and being out, not training with your mates every day. You come into training, you're sitting on the treatment bench, they're all laughing and joking, then they're away to training. That's the thing you've got to get your head around, and he'll need a lot of support. He'll need a lot of people at the club, to keep him hanging in there. And let's hope it's not a year. Let's hope sometimes you see good technical people behind him can bring him back a lot quicker. Yeah, well, if Jamie is watching, he's certainly on a downer now, as Ruffy's painted the picture. All your mates are laughing and joking, and you're sitting in there just moping around. But I spotted a photograph on his Twitter account where he's sitting there saying, I think I'm going to be spending more time with the family and his 3 lovely kids around him. It does psychologically play on your mind, and the reason I ask you is because, boy, when I looked at your knee injury, I thought, oh, there's a long rehab. Yeah, first and foremost, it's a sore one for Jamie Murphy, because it was a big season signing a permanent deal for Brighton. I was looking forward, because he's the sort of player that can do something different. He can glide past 2 or 3 players and create chances. But again, it's a mental one. When you're in that treatment room and you're watching through the window and your teammates are out there training, it's a long, hard road. I've been through it myself. I was out for 9 months with a serious knee injury. But the good thing is Rangers will send him to the best surgeon. You'll have the best physiotherapy. It's just when you're in that gym, it's hard, but you've just got to get through it. You've got to just grit your teeth and grin and bear it and work hard, and you'll come back even stronger for me. See, that's what I was going to say that there. See, when you're out for that length of time, how difficult is it to get back to where you were? Yeah, nowadays when you're going to the best surgeons and you're working with the best physios, it's a lot easier. When I was coming back, I had a couple of setbacks where I had to go back in. I think it was 4 months down the line. I had to go back in and get a small problem sorted with my knee, so I was in and out 2 or 3 times. But again, it's great for you, it's great for your mental strength. And again, the hardest thing for me is you're in the dressing room and then you don't see your teammates for 2 hours and you're stuck in the treatment room or you're stuck in the gymnasium. But you've got a lot of... The most important thing is your family's there to support you, and I'm sure his teammates will be there to support him, and obviously the physios and the doctors. Yeah. What advice would you give to Jamie from your experience of those dark days when you're thinking about all of those things in the mix and you're suddenly there on your own? Well, all I'd done was work as hard as I could in the gymnasium and make sure I was going to come back stronger, because at times you are going to get setbacks, because it is a serious injury, there's no doubt about it. But listen, it's all about getting through these setbacks, and you'll have guys in the dressing room that have maybe been through the same problems, and you'll have ex-teammates or guys that you can call upon and ask them
what it was like. But the main thing is you get support, and when I was coming back from injury, I had a lot of support from family and friends, and my teammates were great, and that's key to it, that you don't give in, you just keep working hard and you'll get through it.
OK, let's deal with Hearts, because they've lost a striker. They're going to look for one. The suggestion maybe at the moment in Edinburgh is that they might ask FC Teplice if they can bring forward this pre-contract they've got with David Vanacek. Now, I would suggest to you, we already know that Hearts were interested in Lawrence Shanklin. My only thought process at the moment on strikers that they can get in that could maybe score goals to the level of Kyle Lafferty is the fact that maybe they're looking for a similar player of that stature, that height.
Well, you would like to think that with the players that Craig Levein has brought in, he'll have some kind of list of players, and agents will be phoning him, recommending. It might not be Lawrence Shanklin, maybe it'll be somebody else, maybe somebody with a bit of more experience, but certainly the amount of players that they've brought into Hearts, we don't know a lot of them. So I'm sure he might just pull somebody else that we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there are a couple of things here that I think Hearts fans will want their minds put at ease. Quite simply, Anne Budge said, there's no point in keeping a player who doesn't have the desire to stay with you. He wanted to go. Now the key for the board, and they've been great with Craig Levein, is just say, OK, here's the list. Go and get somebody. It might be, Vanacek. It might be someone else. But go and get someone that can still fit in to this style you're playing. And I think it's been a good style. I thought, on the previous 2 or 3 occasions when I've watched them this season, they've been good to watch.
Yeah, there's certainly been an improvement. And go back to the Kyle Lafferty situation. He's in his last year of his contract as well. He's probably not going to sign a new contract. Rangers would maybe have waited to January or the end of the season. So they've got 300 grand around about that. He's probably one of the highest earners at the club. So I'm sure Anne Budge will just put that money aside and give it all to Craig Levein to go and bring in, whether it be the guy they've signed on January, I think he's due in, or they go out and get somebody on loan, or they go and sign a Lawrence Shanklin. But I think they've got to, if you look at his record at Hearts, 20 goals in 41 games.
Yeah.
It's a lot of goals to take out the team.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's why I understand why, maybe Shanklin is not the option because he's not tall, Ruffy. But as Barry mentioned there, that, it's a lot of goals and it's wins when they're a stuffy side to try and break down. And they rely on your 1-goal victories at times. They've played some really good football this season. I just wonder if he may well look to the goals. I'm surprised nobody's snapped up Shanklin anyway. If they're wanting 250, 300,000 from Ayr United, no disrespect, Premiership clubs I think will be looking and thinking you've either got ambitions for the top 6 or you want to challenge at the top end for European places. Go out and get him.
Yeah, but again, I'm sure Ayr United will be sitting looking. I would think they'd be looking for 200,000. So a large part of that money that they got for Lafferty is going to get eaten away. The boys proved that he can score. Scored against Dundee the other week there. I've seen him a couple of times. I was impressed with him as well. I don't think 152,000 would be a bad investment. He's a young lad. He's got something to prove. It just depends whether Craig sees him as that kind of player that suits his formation.
Another thing about Kyle Lafferty, you think back, he scores big goals in big games as well. He's a big game player. So I'm sure that Craig Levein will be looking to get somebody in with a bit more experience. No saying that I think Lawrence Shanklin could play in the Premier League. I think he's got a lot of ability and he's got a lot of things to prove, because obviously what happened at Aberdeen. But I think Hearts need to go and sign somebody who can handle the big occasion.
Yeah, OK. With regards to other pursuits in the transfer market, well, Celtic put in an offer of £3.5 million to Aberdeen for Scott McKenna. Aberdeen say no, and he's not for sale. That's their initial view on this, Ruffy. We've heard figures banded about £10 million. I don't think Celtic will pay that sort of money for a Scottish player. I just don't think it's in their DNA. That's the first thing. Secondary to that, wee suggestion gathering about a pace that could they tempt Aberdeen with throwing in the likes of a Johnny Hayes or a Ryan Christie, because one or both, I think, will be out by the end of the transfer window.
Yeah, but I don't think he's a £10 million player either. I know somebody saying if you were down in England, that's the kind of money they throw about. But if it's Scotland, £10 million a lot of player. I think that you've just suggested a package there that I think possibly would be more appealing to Aberdeen. Obviously, there'd be add-ons with the McKenna one as well. So, I mean, that package, I'm sure if it was put in front of you, you would have to seriously have a look at it because, I mean, the boys are injured just now. The window's closed. So it seems ideal.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that Celtic won't get away with. I mean, I know Marvin Comper has been spotted training, remember him? But they won't get away with going to the window without, reinforcements coming in. Brendan Rodgers already started the ball rolling in this rift. Unless they start getting 2 or 3 players in, and this is them going into yet another game against Seduva, and they're still waiting on those new faces.
Yep, I think they've got to bring in at least 2 players. I don't think Brendan Rodgers will be happy, but the Celtic fans will be, for me, they'll be going crazy. Speaking to the Celtic fans out and about, they're desperate to get a couple of signings in. But I look at it, if they bid £3.5 million for McKenna, go back to McGinn. Why not just go and get McGinn for £2.5 million?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but I know that's forgotten about. But as you said, if it's £3.5 million for McKenna plus Hayes and Christie, I think Aberdeen have got to snap their hands off for that.
Because I think Aberdeen are missing two or three players.
Well, Johnny Hayes, when he was at Aberdeen, was, for me, the top man up there. Christie had a good season last year. So I'm sure that if that's the kind of offer that Celtic are putting to him, I'm sure Aberdeen will take that. Because they're getting £3.5 million. They can go and get another centre back, whether it be on loan or a permanent signing. But I think it'd be a great deal for Aberdeen, that.
I still think they need, the Dons, a couple of players that can do something a wee bit different. I mean, Hayes has proved that he can do that. Christie was a star for them last season. In a way, they're a wee bit lucky at the moment. I really hope Scott Wright does indeed develop in that number 10 role that Derek McInnes has suggested he could do. But, this is something that's been thrown in the mix. It's not cement, that Hayes and Christie will be thrown in, but it would make sense for Celtic because they're just going to be kicking their heels.
Yeah, and it makes sense for Aberdeen as well. I mean, it's a package. We keep hearing about the new stadium and everything, and money they've got to be raised. I mean, Derek will still have a couple of weeks of the transfer window if the clubs was to get their hand at £3.5 million. He could go and identify a couple of players. But I think although the boy McKenna's come through and he looks a very good prospect, I think the boy Devlin looks a prospect. I think Devlin, if he gets an extended run, could fall into that McKenna category, given an extended run in the team. Because I was impressed with him at Hamilton before he got the bad injury. But we're all talking about he could be a ready centre-half replacement that we're lacking. But now he's in the team, I think he'll get better and better.
Yeah, but if McKenna goes, they'll need a replacement, Ruffy. And I do think at times Aberdeen are suspect to losing goals. It's as simple as that. They'll need somebody.
For me, they'll need to replace him.
Yeah. If he goes.
If he goes, they'll need to replace him. Because I think McKenna and Devlin are striking up a good partnership. And I agree with you with Devlin. But McKenna, look, money talks now. I think Aberdeen are looking down south and seeing what guys are going to the Championship for, like £10-15 million.
Yeah.
But
he's just signed a 5-year deal, Barry, so the ball is firmly in Aberdeen's court.
Yeah, but I don't think Aberdeen really need to sell, but if you're getting the type of offer that's getting bandied about, £3.5 million, and then if Celtic are throwing a couple of very good players in the equation, I think you've got to seriously consider that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we'll wait and see if that develops. If indeed they do throw in those players, it's certainly something that I think would entice more than a few clubs if those two players were part of a package. Just before we go, a couple of things I want to get your thoughts on. First of all, who takes the Livingston job now, guys? I've heard Paul Dalglish being mentioned. Tony Adams this morning as well. You always seem to get a player out of left field that suddenly is thrown in the mix. I remember in the last, available job, Guti. Remember him? Real Madrid. His name was thrown in there for St Mirren. But I just wonder who takes the job with what's going on in the background, Ruffy. Because I don't know if you have autonomy there.
No, I think anybody with any football experience or been in management or been at a big club, I'll have seen what's happened to Kenny Miller, and there'll be a few questions need to get answered before they step into that. Obviously, we now think that Kenny wasn't making all the decisions, and he's been in the game long enough to know I can't hang about here if I'm not making the decisions. If I'm the manager, I need to be taking the can for what's happening, and that didn't seem to be the case. So no, I think it's at the moment just now. I think it's anybody that's at the festival, you know, is going to get associated with any clubs in that area. You know, if you're at any shows and you've got any football thing, that's it. You're going to get in.
Don't worry about it, Barry. Ruffy's getting he's not going to Livingston in the near future, which is why he's confident about that. And we might as well alienate ourselves completely here, but I'm sorry. I'll be first on this one, and you could be second and third and give us your thoughts on it. You guys have got international caps coming out of every pocket. We're not moving to Murrayfield to the SRU, you know, despite the headline of a little enticement of you'll get an extra 40 million with the extra 17,000 seats.
I'm not having it. Listen, I was through with yourself, was it 3-4 months ago?
Yeah.
No doubt Murrayfield's an exceptional stadium, but for me it's a rugby stadium. Hampden is the national stadium, the home of Scottish football, and you've got to stay there. As simple as that.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, Ruffy. You know, the other aspect of this, they're looking at it just as a flat sale of the stadium, the seats, the extra revenue. One of the things they haven't looked at is the fact that it's not an easy place to get to, despite the fact there's a train goes straight into Haymarket. But apart from that, you know, I don't think too many people in that area would be happy with cup finals with, you know, let's just say 70,000 Celtic and Rangers fans coming through for a cup final there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't lot of people appreciate residents, you know, what they've got to put up with, you know, and although they do put up with the rugby fans, you know, it seems to be bred in them, you know, that's the same. I don't know whether they seem to just behave themselves. You know, I've never heard of, I've read anything about rugby fans being in the papers and fighting with each other or anything like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they
why
do.
That is, you never see them.
It's just a jovial punch-up.
Yes. Yeah, I remember going to a rugby game in Scotland, had get beat something like 64, something like that, and as the fans were leaving, that was that was terrible. You know, and I'm trying to say, if that had been a football game and the teams just get beat 6-0, it would be that kind of vocabulary wouldn't be getting used.
I love the way you've tried in a long-winded way. He goes round because he doesn't want to offend anybody by saying it's a class thing here. You know, the common man, and then maybe somebody who's maybe middle or upper class.
See, for everything they've said about 67,000, we won't fill a stadium that many times. So, in the other twist to that is there's going to be games when there's only 14,000 at it, or 15,000, and it's going to be a horrendous atmosphere. Again,
there's so much history at Hampden as well, Peter. That, for me,
I'm with you on this one.
I think if you ask any football fan, the only problem with Hampden is, we've had this conversation before, is behind the goals. Now, I would think they would maybe try and do something with that, but you've got to keep the football at Hampden. Now,
last point, and again, it's just a personal view, but that's the great thing about this. I want to get that kind of a pub feel to the football show because we love having an argument. There's an argument going on down south between Paul Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, who basically says he's hit back at Paul Scholes' criticism of Paul Pogba at Manchester United, and he said Paul Scholes wouldn't know a leader if they'd sat Winston Churchill in front of him. And he's talking about the fact that maybe he's saying these things, criticising Paul Pogba just because he's in danger of being forgotten. Now, for me, Paul Pogba couldn't lace Paul Scholes' boots. What about you, Barry Ferguson?
I've got to agree with you 100%. For me, Paul Scholes was one of the best midfielders in Britain, his generation. There's no doubt about that. And about this agent saying about he didn't know a lady, the perfect leader, and Sir Alex Ferguson. But for me, if you're putting Scholes or Pogba, I'm Scholes all day.
Ruffy?
Yeah, I would agree that Scholes was in a Man United side, that there were possibly bigger name players getting more publicity for him. But if you ask any of these players, the Beckhams or anything like that, they'll say that Scholes was the main man on that part.
Absolutely. It's a great pub argument, and you can give us your view as well. Don't forget to tell your friends. You can hit the subscribe on our YouTube channel. It's growing bigger and better. The following is with us for people who love football. Thanks to Ruffy, thanks to Barry Ferguson. Tonight, at midnight, it's your last chance. The window is still open on our transfer window to win a car with Arnold Clark. The details are coming up after this programme. You still have time to get in the prize draw to see if maybe even Ruffy or Barry Ferguson could be bending the ball through a moving car to win you a car with Arnold Clark. Thanks for watching. Good night. The transfer window, sponsored by Arnold Clark, is giving you the chance to make your best signing of the summer.
You could win this fabulous Peugeot car if you can bend it like Beckham or swerve it like Messi.
To enter our free competition, click on the link and answer 3 very simple questions. It's a great competition. If you answer all 3 questions correctly, you're in the prize draw and you could be one of 10 lucky contestants selected to try and bend the ball through Peter and Ruffy's moving transfer window car. Now, you can do it on your own if you've got the skill, or you can select one of our former professional footballers to try and win the car for you.
It's the signing of the summer. Yes, what a shot, left foot, can't let you down. Fantastic, thanks Peter.
It's your chance to win your very own Peugeot in the transfer window, sponsored by Arnold Clark. Click on the link now.
Good luck.